All right, today we're at the Pala Casino in Pala, California, and I'm hanging out with my friend Sean Peck. How you doing, buddy?
Everyone in the background's going,
Woo!
yeah! Oh my God, it's Sean Peck live! Everybody watching, this is going to be the best video on his channel. I don't know, he'll be doing this like 30 years from now, and everyone will go back to this video right here and go, you know what, that interview he did with Sean Peck,
dude.
that was the one. He peaked early. He peaked really early.
Right on. Well, I hope so. So anyway, Sean's a powerhouse metal vocalist for the band Cage and Death Dealer.
Yeah.
And the Three Tremors.
Right.
And I know there's one more too. Is it Denner
Sherman, the Merciful Fate guitar players, and Part-Time Warrior.
And Part-Time Warrior.
Vocalists.
Yeah. So how did you get started with the band Cage? What drove you to do that?
Well, I mean, the singing thing was I got into heavy metal when I was, late bloomer to heavy metal. I was really into Flock of Seagulls and Blondie and all that stuff. And then it was the You Can't Kill Rock and Roll song off the Diary of a Madman album with Ozzy Osbourne. Just got me hooked on the whole heavy metal thing. And then I went down and, next thing you know, I got all the posters in my room. I'm air guitaring and I'm singing my lungs out. I went to San Diego State. I was in high school in Alaska, came down to San Diego, little local college bands playing. And I go, I want to get up there. And I started doing one song with bands.
Yeah.
And I realized, I go, you know what? Learning how to play guitar looks like way too much work. I'll just be a singer.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody can sing.
Yeah, just walk in with the microphone and that's it, right?
Yeah. So this band, I got up and started just jamming with this band at some pool party, and they go, "Hey man, we don't have a singer," and I'm like, "I guess I could try," Yeah. And the rest is history.
And Cage was born.
Well, Cage was. I had a band in college called Tax Evasion, which was funny because we played all these college parties, all covers. We'd be playing all these college cover songs, and then we'd bust out the Trooper.
Okay.
And all the girls would go, ew, and there'd be 10 drunks in front going, yeah. And then
all the guys are going, yeah.
Then we started playing the club scenes with that band, and we were doing 4 originals and 6 covers, which is totally unorthodox when you're in, this is in the heyday of heavy metal, 85 through 90. And all these other bands were looking at us like, they suck. We did suck. And, but we were drawing all these people to the club because we had the college homies,
Right.
So we would outdraw all these amazing bands, and the promoter didn't care. They're like, yeah, we know they suck, but they just sold, 100 tickets.
Yeah.
So that's all we give a shit
that
about.
Makes a lot of sense.
And then I got into a band called Nomad, and then after that broke up. That was my first real original metal band. Then the remnants of that formed Cage, and we've been together since 1992.
That's rad. And I just listened to some Cage on the way up here. And
good choice. Good choice.
How many albums do you guys have?
We have well, it depends on if you count. We have 8 kind of, and we're on our 9th one. We're about ready to release this done. It's called Tyrant. It depends. We're shopping labels right now, so it depends when it's going to come out. Maybe next year. It's called Tyrant of the Dead. And hopefully you're looking at the album artwork for it right now.
That's cool.
On the video.
It's all right, man. You're busy. I like that.
Yeah, we. So Cage is still going with that album, and then Death Dealer has a new album too.
That's amazing. So let's talk about Death Dealer a little bit. So that started 2012 area?
Yeah, somewhere like that. That was me, and so my friend Stu Marshall, he's a really good guitar player from Australia. We became friends. He asked me to sing on. He did a series of albums, which he's still doing, called Empires of Eden, and he's got all kinds of singers on there. One song, and then I did a song called Total Devastation, and of course it was the best song on the album. I mean, so we kind of became friends, and we had a good bond in the writing department. And we were talking on, back then it was Skype. People remember Skype.
I just deleted my Skype app.
And they were, we're like, dude, what if we made a band? Who would we have in it? We were just kind of playing fantasy football, but for a heavy metal band we make. And we're like, well, we'd get, this guy for drummer and this guy for bass player, which Mike Davis was like.
Okay, yeah.
We're like, first of all, we're going who's a bass player anyone would even care about? And we go, what about Mike Davis from Halford? And So I go, let me call him right now. Let me text him. And like text him. He's like, yeah, I'll do a band. And then like while we're literally live on the Skype, we're like messaging people on Facebook. Like then we hit up Rhino, who was in Manowar.
Okay.
And then we hit up Stu is a huge Ross the Boss fan. I hit up Ross the Boss literally in real time, and everyone
with those guys back in the past.
Yeah. And everyone in real time was like going, yeah, we'll be in the band. And then next thing you know, we had this like all-star band together. Like, dude, we're like, while we were just Skyping, we're like, we got to make a record now. And we wrote that first record, War Master, and recorded it in like literally like 5 weeks, just like fast. And it was a great record. And then all of a sudden we got an opportunity to do open for the what were they called? They were called the Metal All Stars Tour, which was like 12 arena dates in Europe, including Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Wow. What year was that?
That was 2014.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we went like straight to the arenas. Like we just skipped all that hard work, man, and went straight to the arenas. And like, people had no clue who we were, but we were just a place. We just going,
yeah.
So
that's cool. That is really
and we've done 4 albums. Let's see, we got War Master, Hollow Ground, Conquered Lands, and now we have the new one, which is called Reign of Steel, which I thought that name must have been taken. And you know what? No one had done that. No one's done Reign of Steel.
It's yours now. That's awesome.
And maybe you're seeing the album cover artwork now. Maybe you're not. I got to decide.
I want to hear this.
That album, everyone says, oh, it's our best album. That one might be actually the best album that we've ever done.
Everybody always says it's the best album. As soon as
everyone always says, I'm the opposite. I'm always go like, no, it's not good enough. I always am totally down on the new albums, but this one might actually be pretty good. We wrote that and recorded during COVID. We've had this album done for literally 5 years, just sitting on this album.
You guys recorded at your studio at the house, or?
Well, I record the vocals at my studio, and then Stu records, and we all mix it together. We recorded that one really fast because I did like during COVID, I recorded like 80 songs. Like we were just doing music.
What else is there to do?
Yeah. What else was there to do? So that's another funny one. How fast that album came together.
That's great. That's great. That's really cool. So
that's going to be on Massacre Records. That comes out January 2026.
All right.
Well, it's coming out on a label. That's your birthday?
Well, January 2026. I'll be old. Really old.
That's coming out on a label, Massacre, which I previously sued in German court to get Cage off Massacre. So now I'm back doing a deal with them again. So it just shows even your most hated enemy can become your friend as time goes by. Yeah. So that was when Manowar was like trying to sign Cage, and that's a whole nother story. That needs video part 2 to go through that story.
All right. That's awesome, man. That's a lot of work going on there. So what about the Three Tremors? That consists of you, Tim Ripper Owens, and Harry Conklin, right?
Yeah, from Jack Panzer. 3
powerhouse metal singers all in one spot. So how do you guys decide who's going to sing what part?
The fun thing about it is like every show's a little different. All of a sudden Harry will be singing some part that he's not supposed to sing, and me and Tim will look over like, oh, I guess he's gonna sing this part tonight. So it's kind of fun, then if Harry never has a bad night, sometimes me and Ripper will be like, oh, Ripper's so funny because every show he's like, dude, I don't know, man, about tonight. Then he goes out and just starts destroying it. I'm like, dude, you said, or so then it's like, I go, do you say this every night? And you go out there and just fucking kill. So, a lot of fun, man. We've had a lot of really good times with the Three Tremors. And that when we put that together, I was going to have kind of an all-star band, and then I just decided to use the Cage band because I knew it'd be easier to mobilize and easier to rehearse and everything. So that we've done, I think, over 100 shows with the Three Tremors. When we put that together, normally those are like project bands, and they're never. So it's the 3 of us singing on stage with two guitar, bass, and drum band.
Right.
Which the drummer is Sean Elge from Cage, who's now in KK's Priest. That's how he got the KK's Priest gig. It's because he was in the Three Tremors.
I was talking to him on the Monsters Rock Cruise, not this year, but the previous year. They played. They sounded great, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, so that gave him a good opportunity. Casey's now going to be doing the tour. The guitar player from that Cage and the Tremors, he's going to be filling in for Briotti, the guitar player, and Jack Panzer on their tour.
Very cool.
He's done a bunch of stuff. He's like, everyone, we got such good musicians. Everyone steals them, people. They all steal. No one has stolen me yet, though, which is really, except for Warrior, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I played drums in Warrior. I joined that band in 1995, and Perry did a lot of things. I've done 3 records with these guys.
Yeah,
and Perry couldn't do some gigs, and you sat in and took his place for a few gigs, and
I pretty much crushed it. Guys. I mean, let's.
But
we honest.
We did a show together in Germany. We did the
Keep It True
festival. I think that was in 2014. That was fun.
I love the videos of that.
I'll put a link down.
We did when we played the Jumping Turtle. Though, that was funny. Like,
that was a long time.
It's a That was the warm up show for it.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's a secret show. And I remember pulling up there, and it was freaking like packed, like pouring out the door. Like, I'm like, who's keeping this secret?
Yeah.
That was a fun. The Turtle show was
that.
The Turtle show was more fun than to Keep It True.
I remember that.
And then we did the show for our fallen.
For Rob Farr's memorial bass player.
Peace.
Yep, he
played
with me in the band called National Dust.
Right,
and a really good bass player, and then he was playing in Warrior along with us too. He just passed away 3 years ago.
And Mike Davis took his place on that show, and that was really good. That had a really good feel, when we all got together and the band for no practice, really.
Yeah,
band did great.
It was fun, and it was for our brother, Rob. His mom was there.
He would have liked it.
We love Rini.
That was a good time. And then the Warrior thing. I mean, we were working after we did those shows. We were working on. I recorded like 3 different vocals to some songs. I still have them.
Yeah.
I was going to just leak them to the internet because they were so good. Fucking Dominion. I remember one I did. It was sick. I'm like. I was gonna hit up Flo. I'm like, let's just put out one song. Like, you don't have to call it Warrior if you don't want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great playing with you guys.
It was fun.
I remember like after I finished the Darker Than Black album because I recorded it at Silver Cloud.
Right. I love Silver Cloud.
Joe Floyd from Warrior's studio.
Yep.
And I remember they asked me to sing on the Wars of Gods and Men album, and. I think I asked him for some crazy amount of money.
So instead, we got Mark Storacci from Crocus.
Yeah,
he came down, and I just saw Mark Storacci on the Monsters Rock Cruise. Yeah, I actually talked to him a little bit.
There's a lot of good songs on that album.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done it.
He's such a good dude. And you sounded great. You would have sounded great.
I wish I would have done the record. Going back to it, but it was a weird time. Like I had so much shit going on. I'm like, if I don't get this much money, I don't have time to do it. But. That was cool. That's where I really got to know Joe and in the studio. And he did some leads on my Darker Than Black album. Some really cool ones.
Yeah. Joe Floyd, man.
Yeah.
Great
and Roy Z.
Great friend of yours. Yeah.
Z helped us with that album a lot. So the Tremors, we've done 2 albums. Maybe we'll do another one. Denner Sherman is the band that I played with. Did we talk about Denner Sherman?
Not really. A little bit. But that happened. Started in 2015 area?
Yeah,
something like that.
So that was the 2 guitar players, Hank Sherman and Michael Denner from Merciful Fate, and we did an EP. That's a funny story because like they announced that they're going to do a EP with like different singers, and so I messaged Hank Sherman going, "Hey man, I'm a big fan. Like if I'd love to do a song. If I thought I would never get a response, and then he hit me back and said like, "Hey, when we get closer, I'll hit you up about doing the song." I was like, "Oh, Hank Sherman got back to me." I was freaking out, like telling everybody, and then it was like. 2 months went by, and then he messaged me again like, "Hey, are you still interested in doing the song?" And I'm like, yes, I'm interested. And then he sent me one, and then he sent me he goes, wait, don't do that one, do this one. This is the song Dave Mustaine was going to do before things got weird.
Oh, okay.
Is what he said. Nobody knows that. And So I immediately came up with a chorus. It was the title of the EP called Satan's Tomb. So like right when I heard it, like the chorus hit me
You just want
right away, and I went and
I can do
recorded
something
it.
right now.
I recorded it like instantly, and then sent him just the chorus. And I was just going, "Oh my god, I hope this dude likes this." I was so freaking nervous. And then he hit me back, like, "Hey, do you want to just do the whole EP instead of all these other things?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to do the whole EP." Yeah, and then we did a killer, the Satan's Tomb EP. Like,
I have to listen to that. I really haven't heard any of that stuff. I got to look it up and give it a listen.
And then we did a full length album called Masters of Evil, and we only played 8 shows together, but they were all like headlining. Like I said, we went straight to the second to last on the main stages in these festivals.
That's really cool, Sean.
And then those guys kind of got in a squabble, which is a whole nother video we should do. Now we're not Denner Sherman anymore, which is it sucks.
But that's cool because your plate was full with all these different things, and it's hard to keep that going and maintain everything. And it's
I compartmentalize it pretty good.
But that's really cool. So what are you doing now? What's happening now with you? Are you got some tours coming up or anything like that?
Well,
you kind of mellowing out on that?
I'm more famous, I think, in the comic book industry than I ever was in the music industry. Hell Destroyer Comics on Instagram, and that I kind of it was during COVID when I was recording all the songs, and I had a comic collection from 1975 to 95, boxes and boxes. Yeah. And I go, what am I going to take this stuff to my grave? I got to get rid of this stuff. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm going through, and I'm like, I wonder how much this is worth. Yeah. And then that led down this freaking rabbit hole where comic books is my whole life. I sell live on these live streaming platforms, Whatnot and eBay Live, where I'm actually, hey everybody, Hell Destroyer here. We're going to start this Spider-Man 23 off at $40, and then people auction on it, and then it's a whole community. I go to all these conventions. We put out our own comic book exclusives. There's tons of irons in the fire, and I'm signing autographs and taking pictures of people. They don't even know I'm in a band. The first time I knew something was happening is I went and saw Judas Priest 2 years ago up in LA. And this dude's like, bro, can I get a picture with you? I'm like, it's all metal people. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, you're Hell Destroyer Comics. I'm like, you taking a picture with a comic? Like, yeah, I'm Atlantic Comic. Like,
he has no idea.
Dude, he didn't even know. So at a Judas Priest concert, taking a picture for the comic book.
That's amazing.
And the difference between comic books and being in a band is there's actually money to be made in comic books.
Unlike music. It really is.
Thanks to Spotify. Destroying the entire music industry, dude. We toured. So one of the little story, me and when we were touring with Death Dealer, so we got signed by this Swedish music group label, which was a bunch of crypto dudes that just had money to burn. We're like, yeah, that's what we want. We want a record label with money to burn. Man. And they took us on all kinds of wild adventures, and one of them was they were friends with the owner of Spotify. Oh, okay. So we did a tour of the Spotify headquarters in 2014, way back there in Stockholm. Okay. And I didn't really give a shit because I didn't really know that it was going to destroy the music industry at the time. But Ross was just like, this fucking place. He fuck all these people, because they're all just sitting there leisurely, this is our lounge where all the food is free with our chefs for all the employees, and this is the video game lounge and it was huge, a 3,000 square foot place where just they could play video games when they were tired of working. And Ross was just fuming. He's like, let's burn this fucker to the ground. And I'm like, we should have let him burn it to the ground back then. We might have all been doing a little better, selling more records, that's for sure.
Ross the Boss. Did a gig with that guy too. Yeah. Long time ago. Oh, sheesh. I think it was the same.
Maybe Sean was playing drums. Yep. He's playing in Ross the Boss now. He's back playing. Sean Elge is playing drums with Ross the Boss again.
Yeah. I think I did two of the Keep It True festivals. I think the first one we played along with those guys. Yeah. It's been a long time. Long time's gone by. It's hard to remember what year these things were. I've got one more question for you. I mean, your voice is
it's incredible. Let's be honest.
Your range is insane. So how do you keep that together, and do you practice certain
well, you know what
techniques?
When Dave Drayman from Disturbed asked Ronnie James Dio, what do you do to warm up? And Dio looked at him and he said, "David, if you have to warm up, you really don't have it, do you?" Boom, mic drop.
Boom.
Boom.
I like it. I like it.
It's interesting because like I don't warm up, Ripper doesn't warm up, Harry Conklin, who's could probably outsing anybody on the earth with just effortlessly his technique. He doesn't warm up.
Neither does George Slevo, my singer in Rhino Bucket. He doesn't warm up at all.
Yeah, warm up is like a waste of
Screw
notes. Yeah, but so everyone's got their own thing that they got to do. Like Ralph Sheepers, who's an incredible. Yeah, Ralph Sheepers, who's an incredible singer. When we did the Titans of Rock in Tel Aviv, Israel, which is now taking bombs. As the time of the recording of this interview, he's warming up for like 5 hours, man. I'm like, dude, you're still walking around here warming up, dude.
Damn. Just go sing.
Yeah,
get out there and sing.
You gotta, I've had to adjust my technique a little bit as the years have gone on, and I haven't done a gig for a little while, but when the last gig I did a little tour with Cage opening up for Ripper, some Texas shows, man, I was singing almost better than I ever had. There's some things I can do a lot better now, and there's some things I can't do quite as good as I used to. But overall, I was doing really well. And then I've got that super high, particle beam accelerator note that like some people like in the Tremors. I'm there with Ripper Owens and Harry Conklin, and I'm the guy that does the super high notes in the parts of the song. So
all right, well that I know, and you have an amazing voice. You really do. It's amazing how high you can get. Yeah, it really is.
I love doing like when I hit the super high, only sea mammals can hear it note. I love seeing the look in people's eyes in the crowd. I look at them and they'll just go, and they'll just go.
Give me an example right now. Can you do one here in the courtyard of Pala Casino? No, like a real one.
A real one?
Just give me. I don't care. If we get kicked out of here.
There we go.
All right, there you have it.
I think that was about 2,000 hertz.
Sean Peck.
Put me on the spot. No other singer doing an interview is going to go and sing like on the spot. Like, all right, guys, come on. Let's be honest. They're all going, oh, no, I can't. They're all going to do that shit. Not me. I'll just go for it. I'm not afraid.
All right. Hey, man, Sean, thank you for spending time with me today. Pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, bro.
And we're at the Pala Casino, so what I say is let's go gamble a little bit.
I've already been here a couple hours, man. I'm about even.
I got caught in traffic.
I was doing really good, and then there's the new Godzilla King Kong Monsterverse slot machine got me.
Oh.
They took me. It was fun, though.
I want to get in there and mess around a little bit.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Cheers, and we'll see you guys later. Metal! You're on, baby.
Legends have no shame.